Right now, we are following breaking news this hour. Evergreen Fire is working a fatal structure fire at what they're calling a multi-level townhome.
Yeah, so this happened at a townhome off of Silver Spruce Lane that is just south of Evergreen Lake, just off of Little Cub Creek Road and Highway 73. They tweeted that smoke alarms alerted many of those living there. Several people were able to evacuate. We have a crew on the scene working to gather some more information. We'll bring that to you once it's available. New overnight, a space heater caused an RV fire in Lakewood. West Metro Fire shared these pictures. Now, this happened last night at a mobile home park off of 14th and Allison. 2 people inside were able to get out. However, firefighters say the family dog was not able to escape. The RV was destroyed, but firefighters were able to keep it contained to just 1.
Right now, there is only one full-time warming shelter open in Denver. It's at the McNichols building just off Colfax Avenue. It was open overnight, and it has been since Saturday. They're going to continue to be open 24 hours through tomorrow. Inside, it's of course warm. There are also resources available for folks who need it. Some good news for people trying to catch a flight out today. We're only seeing a small amount of delays and cancellations out at DIA. FlightAware is reporting under 50 cancellations so far. We'll take it. A good reminder, though, check with your airline and give yourself plenty of time heading out east to the airport. Don't forget, if you're heading out the door, you can take us with you wherever you go. Download our free 9 News app. Stay up to date on the latest weather, traffic, and news throughout your day.
Happening today, state regulators are giving the public a chance to sound off about expensive bills. The Public Utilities Commission is holding 2 public hearings later this afternoon at 3 and 5 o'clock. You have to sign up on the PUC's website if you want to talk to regulators. And an update this morning in Aurora, the city has a new fire chief. City Council voted last night to give the job to Alec Otten from Richmond, Virginia. Otten's been there for more than 20 years, the last 4 as chief. The Aurora city manager says they picked him because of his experience running a department close to Aurora size. Continuing our coverage now on the arson that killed a family of 5 in Green Valley Ranch.
Yeah, now more than 2 years later, one of the teens charged has entered a guilty plea. 9 News reporter Darius Johnson joins us live right now with more. Darius, family members are not happy about this.
Yeah, no, they're not happy at all. Court documents show the teen has pled guilty to 1 count of second-degree murder, but family members say they wanted all 3 of these teenagers accused to go through the full court process. On August 5th of 2020, court documents say Gavin Seymour, Kevin Bowie, and a 3rd teenager who was 14 years old went to a home on Truckee Street in Green Valley Ranch, poured accelerant, and then set it to fire. 2 adults and a child escaped by jumping out of a window. 5 members of the Joel family sadly did not survive. 3 adults, a 2-year-old, and an infant perished. Prosecutors say the motive was revenge. According to court documents, Kevin Bowie was robbed of his cell phone and money while in City Park engaging in illegal activity. He then tracked his phone on his iPad where it pinged to the home on Truckee Street. However, it wasn't until after the house burned that they realized it was the wrong home. The family says this guilty plea does not bring them any closure.
It's still tough for them. There's no closure. It hasn't really been a closure for them. Yeah, it's a long process. It's been almost 3 years now, almost 3 years since the tragedy happened, and we still haven't found peace or closure to this case.
Now, 9 News has not named the 17-year-old defendant who just pled guilty because the case is still in juvenile court. Again, he was only 14 years old at the time of the fire. Sentencing is set for 9 a.m. tomorrow. Of course, we will be following what happens. Corey, in the 8 a.m. hour, we're going to talk about some of the evidence they were able to gather through a search warrant and how some may think it's unconstitutional.
Yeah, looking into whether that was even legal for them or not. But you can see why the family is kind of upset about what happened here.
I mean, when you really think about it, I think we continue to hear this in all of these cases, even thinking about Tyree Nichols over the last weekend. A lot of these families continue to say that it's not justice. It's not bringing back the loved one at that point. All you can do is be able to hold people accountable for something. And I think in this case, they wanted them to be able to go through the court process so they can suffer how this family has suffered, losing 5 people.
Yeah, heartbreaking for the family. Darius, thank you. This morning, a man is facing charges for allegedly selling fentanyl to a 14-year-old boy who then died from an overdose. Cesar Eduardo Mejia Sanabria was already in jail on drug charges. Last week, prosecutors filed new child abuse and drug-related charges for the death of the 14-year-old boy. He died on December 11th from a fentanyl overdose. Police said they determined Mejia Sanabria was the dealer based on text messages.
One of the officers criminally charged after a woman was hit by a train has been fired. 9 News has confirmed that Pablo Vasquez was fired in December. The town of Platteville released his termination letter on Monday. Vasquez parked his patrol car on train tracks during a traffic stop in September. Another responding officer placed Yorina Rios inside the police car. Shortly after that, a freight train hit the car. Rios survived and has filed a lawsuit. Vasquez is currently facing misdemeanor charges. Now another officer, Jordan Steinke of Fort Lupton, is facing felony charges. Thornton is suing several companies claiming they contaminated the city's drinking water.
The lawsuit claims some of these chemicals are linked to cancer and birth defects. Over the summer, the EPA set a new standard for PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, in the water. Thornton claims firefighting foam contaminated portions of the city's surface and groundwater supply. They've taken the contaminated groundwater source out of service until they can treat the water. Thornton wants to be reimbursed by the companies for taking the chemicals out of the water instead of taking taxpayer money.